The GMA exclusive, Conan O'Brien. He's getting ready for Hollywood's big night. Chris Connolly caught up with him to talk about hosting the Oscars. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, George. Creatively refreshed and critically acclaimed for his podcast and travel show, Conan O'Brien has been taking on new challenges in his post-talk show era. The biggest yet, hosting the Oscars.
I think it's been 3 years since I stopped doing my late night show, and I've been saying yes to things. It's been this time of yes. I'm a black belt in karate now. I'm a licensed neurosurgeon. I mean, there's all these things I'm doing now that I didn't think I would ever do before.
Conan O'Brien saying yes, really, to hosting the Academy Awards for the first time.
Oh, I'm hosting.
Yes.
Teasing what could be in store as he takes the Oscar stage.
You look out and you see the biggest stars in Hollywood in front of you.
Yeah.
Do you go after them? Do you bounce things off them? Are you kind to them?
I go after the ones that have personally been cruel to me over the years. And
where to begin?
I can let someone have it if I think in the moment they really need it, but I'm also very comfortable as a comedian putting the joke on me.
What about singing and dancing?
We polled America. I spent a lot of my own money polling Americans. Shocking response. People don't want it, which means I'll probably try and do it. I will say this, if you like close-up magic tricks, you'll be very happy with my Oscars performance.
Quick-witted Conan is eager to react to whatever takes place live on the March 2nd show.
Yeah, I'm paying people to create moments. I'm gonna have a lot of fake moments that I can react to and people can say, wow, Conan's a genius. How did he see that coming? And then later on, I'm giving Tom Hanks $300 in the parking lot.
How about taped pieces or things away from the theater?
That's always been one of my fortes. When I would host the Emmys, I would always like to have a tape piece or two under my belt where we could really craft something and make something special. You need to be careful. If you do too many of them, you lose, I think, the people that are there in the room.
Along with the Academy and the Oscar producers, Conan mindful of the need to strike the right tone in the wake of the devastating fires in Southern California.
LA has just been through this traumatic experience. There's a lot that's happening nationally that people are very tense about. It changes day to day. And so my job right now with my writers is to create possibilities. We're going to have to get very close to the actual air date to figure out what works, what doesn't work.
You had the courage to stand up and be the Oscars host this year. What do you think
Is it courage or is it stupidity? When the Academy called, to be honest, I had been drinking heavily, and I took some pills that I found, and I was like, yeah, Oscars, I'm doing the Oscars, let's do it. And they said, are you okay? And I said, I'm fine. It's a tricky show, it's a tricky time. I'm gonna give it my best shot. And if it doesn't work out, you will never see me again. You will never, ever see me again. And that's something America can look forward to. There's a lot of people out there rooting for this not to go well.
For a guy who grew up watching Johnny Carson and Bob Hope as Oscars MCs, hosting the Oscars himself, Conan says, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like he's having fun with it. Thank you, Chris. And all of you at home can watch the Oscars on Sunday, March 2nd, right here on ABC and on Hulu.
Now with Conan O'Brien, Lara went one-on-one with the comedian as he gets ready to host the Academy Awards for the first time. Hey, Lara, look like you had fun.
Hi, Michael. Good morning to you. We have had so much fun so far. Conan is just 4 days away now from hosting his first ever Academy Awards. And he says that he has been unwittingly training for this since his days as an SNL writer. And then, of course, with his late night show, because they were constantly changing up until the very last minute, because that is exactly what's going on this week. He also says, guys, he's gotten great advice from past hosts like Jimmy Kimmel and Billy Crystal, who said, whatever you do, make sure you don't disappear after the opening monologue. Oh, well, not to worry. Conan has several ideas on how to make sure none of us forgets who's hosting this year's Oscars.
Can you share with us any secrets of this year's Oscars?
I'm just going to keep popping in and just yell, host! And I think that's going to remind people, first of all, it's going to be very jarring.
Yeah.
And
keep us awake.
Yeah, but like during someone's emotional speech when they've just won and they're saying a beautiful thing about their grandmother who believed in them, and I lean in, host! Jarring, upsetting, probably a bad idea.
New, though, something new.
But new. I don't care if my ideas are bad ideas. I care that they're new and you haven't seen it before.
I like
You know what I
this.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling a giant cobra,
Yeah.
you know,
For no
the
reason.
first time on stage.
Yeah.
Hasn't been done.
No.
I'm going to do it. So I want people to be watching thinking there's a good chance he doesn't survive the night.
Here we are 4 days out.
4 days to go, no pressure. I mean, there's a ton of pressure, but I don't feel it because I take a lot of different medications. And so I don't feel anything right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I have a big, happy grin. Yeah, we are 4 days out, and we've been working really hard. I have an amazing team of writers. We have been going through tons of ideas, and I'm excited because I grew up watching the Oscars, and it is something that's imprinted on my memory.
So this is something you dreamed of as a kid, or you wouldn't even dare to dream of this moment?
I dreamed of like being a seat filler at the Oscars. I never thought, oh, I'll host the Oscars. I always kept my dreams very attainable.
Yeah. Do you have Oscar memories that stand out to you as a kid?
Well, the memory that I remembered, I was watching this when a streaker, during the streaking craze, when a streaker ran through, and David Niven had a great ad lib.
Probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings.
And of course, I didn't understand the joke at the time. I don't think. Still don't.
So if you had a Mount Rushmore of Oscar hosts, who would be on it?
Well, the Mount Rushmore of hosts, Bob Hope, Johnny Carson, Steve Martin, Billy Crystal. I think Jimmy Kimmel has done a really nice job with the Oscars, and Jimmy and his wife Molly have been really nice to me about sharing their tips. You know, look out for this, try and do that, make sure you do X, Y, Z. Probably all a trap, sabotage, but done with warmth.
Okay, are you going to sing or dance? Yes or no?
You never know with Conan. I'm like Anne Margaret. I'm a triple threat. Now, I know a lot of young people are watching. You don't know who Anne Margaret is, so I'll change it up again. I'm like Selena Gomez. I sing, I act. Okay, I just brought it into the present. You never know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
You know, I can sing, I can dance, I can do close-up magic. I'm a contortionist. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
No.
Anything can happen at any time.
It sounds like it might.
I can dislocate both of my shoulders and have my arms fall off, and I might do it. You have to stay glued the entire show. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
If you could have been in any one of the major movies that's likely to win awards, which of these Oscar contender movies do you wish that you could have had a role in?
I would say it would be fun to be in Conclave, because I would love to, you know, wear the clothing, and then I'd like to cast my ballot, and then I'd like to scurry down a hallway, but then I'd like to have a giant piece of veal parmesan and a whole bunch of red wine, and I mean a lot of red wine.
If you would be willing to give us a GMA exclusive, just one thing to tell our audience that is going to happen, that only Conan knows.
I am going to go into the audience, and I'm going to shave Stanley Tucci's chest.
Has he consented?
He has not consented. He's heard about it, and he said no, but I'm going to still do it.
Okay.
And I'm going to see that he's restrained.
Thank you.
We had so much fun, you guys. Conan says he and his writers are in great shape with more material than they will ever be able to use, but they won't make their final choices until the very last minute, much to the dismay of producers who might like to know what Conan actually has in store for us. I guess we will all find out together on the 97th Annual Academy Awards this Sunday, March 2nd, 7 p.m., right here on ABC. But guys, he's having a great time, as you can see, and you can really feel how relaxed he is.
He's giving us a great time already, yeah.
And I can tell you have to watch because it seems like it's going to be pretty unpredictable.
Yeah, great job there, Lara.
Yes.
Yeah, great job. That was not easy to do what you did. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Conan O'Brien, welcome back to the Today Show.
Thank you very much for having me, Jake. Appreciate it.
It's been a minute.
Has it?
I think so.
How long has it been?
I don't know, but I just looked up the first time you did the Today Show.
Which would have been 1993? Was it with
Brian Gumbel?
With Brian Gumbel.
Do you remember?
I remember that I was starting my late night career. No one knew who I was. Everyone at NBC was like, who is this guy? And so there was a real vibe of what's happening, because Letterman was leaving, huge, massive star, and they said, don't worry, we have his replacement. His name is Chip Whitley, and he's a complete unknown. And I showed up practically with acne, and I remember Bryant Gumbel, Katie Couric, everybody being very skeptical, and I don't blame them.
You were sitting on this. It wasn't our set. It wasn't in Studio 1A. It was on. It must have been the late night set, or I don't know where it was. But you and Bryant were sitting there. It was almost exactly 32 years ago today. It was May 4th, 1993.
Wow.
You told him if it didn't work out, you would become a crop duster.
Yes. Yeah. At the time, it's hard to remember because there's so much media now that shows come and go. But at the time, there was very little, there was less television, there was hardly any late night. And so when they announced a new late night host, it was like, and the new pope is, and the choice seemed crazy to everybody. And so it was almost a national question of who is this guy? How long will he last? Even my parents were skeptical. And so it was a crazy time.
You told Bryant you would be walking down the street and people would say, good luck, Conan, good luck, hope it goes well.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it felt like to be that guy?
I remember it so well. I'll never forget. It kind of is probably how a lobster would feel if it was alive but didn't have its shell. I was very scared all the time. I was very aware of the precarious situation I was in. Walking down the street, people would eye me up and down and say, well, I don't know, you going to make it? Are you not going to make it? And that was the tenor of the press, too, was very much, who is this guy? And pretty soon after I debuted, a lot of people said, this man should go away and never be heard from again. So the fact that I'm still here and that you're talking to me is, I think, a good sign.
When you think back, I mean, it's been 32 years since that moment. What have those 32 years been like for you?
Wow. They've been jam-packed with incredible highs, some really dark lows. But I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I know people say that, but I wouldn't change a thing. I've been insanely blessed. I remembered being, when I started out my career, sometimes you just say something out loud. You can say it's to God, to the world, to the future, to the heavens. I just said, whatever happens to me, I hope it's interesting. And I got my wish back tenfold. I've had all my dreams come true 75,000 times over. And even the dark moments have had gifts in them. And I'm crazily fortunate. I really am. So I can't remember most of what happened. And I've had many people remind me of things that happened. And I'll say, what? I sang a song with David Bowie? And they'll go, yeah. And I say, no. I'm a huge David Bowie fan. I love David Bowie, but I don't remember singing a song with him. And then they can call it up online and I can see it and I don't have a memory of it.
Why do you think that is?
I think I have a degenerative brain disorder.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I think drinking didn't help. I honestly think it's too much. It's just too much. You do a show every day for an hour, and I don't know if you've had this experience as well, but interview. It's a volume business. Over the years, it's like saying to someone, remember that corned beef sandwich you had May 3rd, 1998? Do you remember? And you go, I don't. Well, I have tape. And they show you a tape and you go, wow, that looks like a great corned beef sandwich. And I remember, oh, it looks like I'm really enjoying it, but I don't remember it. But we're not meant to remember all this.
Yeah, but there are, I mean, something, when I said you had your first Today Show interview with Brian Gumbel, you remember the year. Obviously, it's the year that you started the show.
Yeah.
There must be things, though, that are the tentpole moments for you that stick out.
Of course. There are moments where, my first show, September 13th, 1993, is embedded in my brain and all the emotion that went with it. All the different highs, some of the really dark times where I thought, is my career over? Those things are burned into my brain. And the first time we got outside the studio and started traveling the show, I was working in a very small studio in Rockefeller Center, iconic studio, and crowds would come in, and I could tell these crowds really seemed to like the show, and we were getting good press, and some years were going by, and things seemed to be building. And then we went to Chicago and did a week of shows at the Chicago Theater. Crowds around the block, the whole town going crazy. We traveled to Toronto, all of Canada. And I thought, I think we did something here. And that was like it's almost like a religious feeling of years and years and years of struggle and pain, and I'm a worrier, worrying, and then you have these moments where you're on stage at the Chicago Theater and thousands of people are cheering, and those are stuck in my brain in a good way.
So over these 32 years, you went from worrying about being a crop duster to being awarded the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, the most prestigious award in American comedy.
Yeah.
Letterman gave you the award.
Yeah.
You described it as an Oppenheimer at Los Alamos moment, a nuclear moment.
Yeah.
It was amazing to watch. What was it like to experience?
Just as I said, it's hard to take some things in because they're almost too meaningful. They're very powerful. And when I'm suspicious of awards, there's awards, and you try to remember we're on Earth for a short time. It's an award. Get over yourself. And I try to have a lot of humility about those things and remember what's really important. I've got a wife, I have children, and I don't know their names, but they tell me they're good kids. But the idea, if you had told me in 1993 that David Letterman is going to hand you an award in Washington, I would have said, that's just not possible. That's not going to happen.
You told an amazing story about sitting at Dupar's here.
Yeah, I was sitting in a Dupar's diner. I talk about it in the Twain special, and I'm unemployed, and I think the year was 1987, and I drove a cruddy 1973 Plymouth Valiant used car.
You were hoping to get hired on Dave's show as a writer.
I wanted to be hired on Dave's show as a writer, and I thought, and this is something I tell young people a lot, I thought my destiny was to be a writer for David Letterman, and I thought it was my only way to the future. Like, here's the yellow brick road, and if I don't follow this yellow brick road, I will not make it to Oz. I didn't get the job. It was between me and one other person. They went with the other person. And it felt like I was on the yellow brick road, and suddenly there was a wall in front of me. And you have these moments in your career, your life, where you think, it's not going to work out for me. And what you learn later on is, no, you needed that wall. That wall was part of it. I know it can sound corny, but had I gotten that job at Dave's show, things may not have worked out for me. It's very hard to explain, but the disappointments are part of the ride, and they're an essential part of the ride.
And then there you were on the stage at the Kennedy Center with him handing you this award, and it was moving to watch. I'm sure it was sort of mind-blowing to experience.
I don't know that I'll have a more meaningful night in my career than I did at the Twain Award. It just had so much meaning for me. And my feeling since then is, well, maybe it is time to be a crop duster now. Like, maybe I should move on. That was...
You described it in your podcast as almost like hearing your eulogy.
Yeah, it is hearing your eulogy, and it was a good eulogy. And so maybe I should just lay low.
Please don't.
Just lay low for a while, but I'm so grateful to all those amazingly talented people that came, and it meant a lot to me that David Letterman was there. It meant the world to me, but it also meant the world to me that all these younger voices came to.
Mulaney and Reggie Watts and Sarah Silverman.
And there's something about, I love meeting these younger comedians who are so funny and so talented, and young talent just lights up my switchboard. I'm just so happy. I feel like comedy's in good hands. There's so many talented people coming up who are so good, and it's just a delight to see them, to know them, to have a cup of coffee with them.
To have them on your podcast.
To have them on my podcast, yeah, it's a dream.
You talked about during the Twain Prize your love for your family. You talked about your wife and your children who were there with you. You talked about your mom and dad who you lost at the very end of last year within days of each other.
Yeah.
Then the fires happened in LA.
Yeah.
And right after that, you had to go host Oscars. How did you do all of that?
You can do things when you don't have a choice. I think it's an amazing thing. And so I agreed to the Oscars. That was late November. And I talked to Max. I had to call Max and say, is it okay if I do the Oscars? Because I know I owe you these travel shows and we're not quite done yet. And they said, they were lovely. They said, yes, go do the Oscars, but we do want you to shoot, finish that travel show to Austria before you go, start working on the Oscars. So right away we went to Austria. And I was in Austria when my brother Luke called me and said, Dad passed. And I took a van to a plane, to another plane, just different airport hubs, got to Boston, and walk in the room, and my dad's bed is empty, and my mom was in the bed next to him, and I could tell that she was going, which was surreal. And she passed, I think, within 3 days of my dad passing, and then the funeral became a double funeral, and the scramble to get that together, and all the emotions that come with it. And then Christmas, the minute Christmas was over, I was like, okay, you just have to get to work on the Oscars because there's not much time. And the fires hit, and we were evacuated, and we're living in a hotel. Very fortunately, the fire came very close. Our house survived.
But about as close as it can get.
It got as close as it can get. It came to our edge of our backyard. And it's as if Charlton Heston, as Moses, raised a staff and said, enough! Wow. Stop! It's eerie how it just stopped. And we were extremely blessed that our house is still there. A lot of people were not as blessed, and it was terrible. But we were very lucky living in a hotel and working on the Oscars. And, you got to get this thing together. So we worked here. This is the room that we worked in. These are our offices. So I would basically was in a hotel, and I would come here, and this was our boiler room.
What did it mean for you to be in this room with so much, I don't want to put words in your mouth, with such heavy experiences happening to you personally at the time?
I have always I get a lot of solace out of being in a writer's room. A writer's room, if I'm a fish, and a writer's room is my tank of tropical water. I love being in a writer's room, and it's really healing to be around. These are very talented writers that worked with me on this, on the Oscars. I've known these people for decades, some of them, and they're friends. And so the fact that I'm together with them, it sounds crazy, but it's healing to be in a room with really funny people that know and care about me, and to be working on something that we're trying to make that's positive and life-affirming and silly. So in a way, it was good therapy. And I think one of the things that, I wish my parents had been able to see the Oscars, but, you do get that. They got to see a lot. They got to see a lot of cool things. And they were very proud. And so I had the knowledge of knowing that they saw a lot, and it fortified me to know that in some way they'll be with me when I go through this crazy Oscar thing that terrifies everybody.
They seemed like extraordinary people. Your dad was an epidemiologist and your mom was a lawyer?
Yeah, my dad was an infectious disease scientist, and he was working on antibiotic resistance. he started working on it in the late 60s, early 70s, saying antibiotics are great, but I think we might be overusing them. And people went, whatever, cuckoo. And my dad was on it. He was very passionate about it, very, very intelligent, one of the smartest people I've ever met. And my mom she had 6 kids. I'm one of 6. And she was an incredible mom and raised us. And then once we could kind of, we got old enough, I might have been in 5th grade or 4th grade, she went back to work. And she worked as an estate attorney in Boston and had a pretty high-powered job. And she was one of the early women to go to Yale Law School. She was a trailblazer, and so many women have come up to me since my mom passed and said, your mother counseled me, your mother gave me the courage and the belief that, yes, women can inhabit this space. I mean, that was not happening when my mom was working as a lawyer in the late 1950s. It was very unusual. And, both of my parents came from humble backgrounds. They both, came from Irish families that lived in central Massachusetts, and my grandfather was a traffic cop in Worcester, Massachusetts. And my mother and my father achieved everything they achieved on full scholarships. And so I always try and remember that I'm here getting to live this dream life because of generations of people before me who worked their tails off and were also honorable, moral people. So it's really good to be connected to this legacy of, I've got to live up to what these people did and sacrificed so that I get to do this. It's insane.
I didn't even ask you about, and all the crazy things that happened leading up to the Mark Twain Prize. The election preceded everything else that I already mentioned.
Yeah.
And in your acceptance of the award, which was bestowed upon you by the Kennedy Center of a previous administration, not the current administration, you talked about Twain in the political context. I thought it was really powerful. You said he was a patriot in the best sense of the word. He loved America, but knew it was deeply flawed.
Yeah.
And you went on to quote him saying, patriotism is supporting your country all of the time and your government when it deserves it.
Yeah.
Why did you want to make that point?
I wanted to make that point because, in my opinion, if you're going to accept an award that's named after somebody, we need to know who that person was. And Mark Twain can be thought of as a caricature, meaning we all know the mustache and the hair.
The Will Forte character.
The Will Forte character. Mark Twain can become almost an emoji to us. And you have to understand who he was. And what made Mark Twain so enduring and so powerful is that he was questioning. He questioned power, and he was uneasy. He loved America. He was a great patriot, clearly, but also he was uneasy when America, he was uneasy about people having too much money in the Gilded Age. He was very uneasy about American imperialism in the Philippines. He was uneasy about America flexing its might or appearing, just blindly waving the flag without thinking about what it means. And I thought it was important to make that point because we're certainly in a time right now, I'm not a political comedian, but just as a citizen, we have to remember, I'm a history buff, this is a democratic experiment. It's an experiment, which means it's always in play. It's always in question. And we have to be vigilant, and we have to make sure that the values that we're most proud of in America are preserved.
He also, you highlighted what he had to say and his fondness for travel, for getting out and seeing other parts of the world, which seems like such a big part of your life these days.
Yeah, I think Mark Twain, there's a great quote that I mentioned in the speech, which I can't remember, but Mark Twain basically said he thinks travel is the best education.
And combats small-mindedness.
And it combats small-mindedness because when you travel, you are put in a vulnerable position. If you're from another country and I go to your country, you're in your power zone. It's your country. I'm the interloper. I don't speak the language. I don't know the customs. And it's very humbling, and humbling in a good way. And humble's a good thing. This chest thumping and bravura is I think, silly. It's good to be humble. It's good to think, gee, I think I know a lot of things, but I could know so much more, and I could learn from other people. And so that's why I love these travel shows, is that I prefer the joke to be on me. I like to go places where often people from other countries, maybe they don't know who I am, but they're laughing at me, or they're finding me to be silly. And those are the things that it almost feels like a kind of diplomacy to say, hi, I'm an American, and you're free to find me ridiculous.
Have at me.
Have at me. I will try to do your ceremonial dance, or I will try to eat your ceremonial food, or I'll try to honor the ceremonial custom. And if I get it wrong, feel free to laugh at me, because the joke is on me.
You've been so consistent in that messaging or philosophy. We were all sharing your sign-off from The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your message in the sign-off from The Tonight Show in some way. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you probably, I don't know if you remember it by heart, but I think there's a lot of people out there do.
Yeah.
Please don't be cynical. And I hate cynicism. For the record, it's my least favorite quality. It doesn't lead anywhere. Nobody in life gets exactly what they thought they were going to get, but if you work really hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen.
I believe that still, yeah. I think, man, who was that guy? That guy was smart.
That's some version of what you just said to me.
Well, it's funny, I have certain principles and ideas that I can't always articulate, and I'm just always constantly working at it. I'm a work in progress. We're all works in progress, and I'm trying with these crazy opportunities that I've been given. I mean, I need to stress, I work very hard, and I think I have some ability, but no one's had more luck than I've had. I've had an insane amount of luck. I really have. And I just look at the people I come from, the people I mentioned, my ancestors, people that, I've stood on the ground, I've stood on the plot of earth where my great-great-grandfather decided I gotta leave Ireland because I can't make it work here. There's no money, there's no food, and I need to go. And he left, and he came to America and moved to central Massachusetts. And then generation of people working hard and having good values. And then I get to do this. It is a great gift. And I think I have a lot of empathy for people that come from other countries and come to our country and work so hard to make something, because I know that's where all of us come from.
Yeah.
We're all related to immigrants who came here and were scared out of their minds.
Have you ever watched back your Tonight Show sign-off?
No, never have.
Never once?
No, I can't do it. It's too, I'm proud of it, but I can't, it was just a lot. It was a lot. And that was a moment where I really did think, I don't know, maybe it's over for me. I really did.
But it's so amazing what you've done since then. I mean, I think groundbreaking is a objectively accurate term, or genre bending. You've got the podcast and the travel show and the stand-up tour that you did, and taking late night to cable. How do you think that you did all that in the wake of losing the Tonight Show?
I think I have something in me that's kind of insatiable. I like to make stuff. So there's something in me that likes to make stuff. And I like to make people laugh. I get a lot of joy out of making people laugh. And when we wrap this up and go and get coffee next door, if I can make the person at the counter laugh, I'm happy. And that counts as much to me as making someone on the podcast laugh or someone in the Chicago theater where there's 5,000 people laugh. It all kind of feels the same to me. If I can make a kid who doesn't know who I am laugh, who's 5 years old, I get that same burst of adrenaline. I like it. It gives me great pleasure. So I think it was that drive to, all right, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I'm going to still do this thing I do and look for new ways to do it. And I've been very, very blessed with having good people around me, smart people, a lot of young people who told me, hey, you should go on Hot Ones. I'm like, what's Hot Ones? Go on Hot Ones. Okay.
It was a seminal moment, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, for my intestines it was, but also I think for...
Was it as bad as it looked?
Yeah, later. There was some damage done. I lost 5 years of life, but when I think I'm being funny, or when I'm in the, whatever it is, a flow state, if you want to call it that, or whatever it is, or just babbling like an idiot, when I'm in that moment, I'm not thinking, and I'll do anything. It's dangerous, because I will do anything. And if Sean of Hot Ones had handed me battery acid at that point, I'd have swigged it, because I thought, like, well, that'll make people laugh, and then dealt with the consequences later on.
It was incredible to watch. You have a new season of Conan O'Brien Must Go about to drop. What's Conan O'Brien's take on America's standing in the world from doing so much travel all around the globe?
The good news is that pretty much everywhere I've traveled in the world, I've experienced nothing but goodwill towards America. People, and even I've been to countries, I went to Haiti after they had been insulted by our president, and I still encountered goodwill towards America.
Even after the country's remark.
Yeah, I'd like Americans to know that there is a lot of goodwill towards America and Americans. We may be testing the limits of that at times, but I do think throughout the world, and I'm just speaking from my travel, my limited travel and my limited experience, but there is a belief that for the most part, Americans' hearts are in the right place. That's the sense I get. And have I been everywhere? No, I haven't. But America, like any country, is flawed. We're imperfect, but we have done a lot of great things. We have done a lot to, I mean, just think about World War II alone, World War I, World War II. There have been a lot of ways in which we've tried to make a difference and tried to help and tried to promote democracy and freedom. So there's good principles, and then of course there are ways it can go off the rails. So after all this time, I'm very impressed that for the most part, people are well disposed, I think, towards Americans. That's the feeling I get.
Did you ever watch Huell Hauser? Do you remember Huell Hauser, the public television legend?
Yeah.
This stuff in the field gives me such Huell Hauser vibes. Huell Hauser was my idol.
Well, it's funny. Accidents, mistakes.
people who don't understand how this medium works, one of the things I love about going out in the field and doing these shows in other countries is that if you didn't know any better, you'd think, just make sure you don't make a mistake. The great thing I've found about comedy is that mistakes are gold.
Mm-hmm.
And when I grew up, it was when something went wrong when Johnny Carson was the funniest. Something going wrong is when you see a real human being in action responding to a real problem. So when I'm out in the world, in these different countries, encountering these people and awkward moments happen, they're the funniest thing.
Absolute best.
It's the best because it wasn't planned, it's not a bit, it's not a prop, there's not a script. I'm standing there, and one of my favorite moments, I think I was in Ghana. This was a couple of years ago. I was in Ghana, and some guy's talking to me. This, very good-looking man from Ghana. He's talking to me, and he's looking at me, and he's a little curious, and he's looking at my face and my skin, and then he more or less is asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" and he's looking at the freckles, and he can see the veins because I'm so freaking pale. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, and I said, the freckles, you like the freckles? He's like, I don't think so. and it was such a nice moment. I've had that moment in Haiti too, where all these beautiful young boys and girls gather around, and I have a short sleeve shirt on, and they're looking at my skin, and they're basically saying, "What's wrong with you?" And I love anytime it's so sweet and funny that those kids are finding me physically ridiculous because I look like this.
Just watching you figure it out, the episode you did in Argentina where she's explaining to you that you kiss everyone when you leave.
Yeah.
And you go around and you kiss.
I'm kissing people and they don't know what I'm doing.
And also you're kissing on both sides of the face, and she's trying to explain to you, no, you're supposed to kiss on one side of the face.
Yeah, I know. I love it when the reaction shots. My favorite thing is people in other countries going, what? And it could be Japan, it could be Germany. It's people thinking, oh, this poor fool, we hope he makes it back to America safely. And that's the essence of the kind of comedy I like to do.
We all hope that too. We're glad that you make it home every time.
I hope so too.
Anywhere you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Obviously, yeah.
What's at the top of your list?
There are countries right now where it might not be wise to go. I've always wanted to go to Russia. I'm fascinated by history. I've read a lot of Russian history. The Russian people fascinate me. And I've long wanted to go to Russia. I want to go to India. I've been to India once, and I was so struck by the beauty of the people and the culture, and just the richness of the history. So yes, there's so many places I still want to go, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see these places. My father, in his work as a scientist, traveled a lot, and he used to take me with him. And it was not glamorous travel. This is, this is a research scientist getting some grant money, and us traveling to. We went all the way through South America, and we were rushing to the airport constantly, and the furthest thing from luxury travel you can imagine as a kid. But I saw a lot, and it really got me interested in other people, other cultures, and getting outside of our little world.
Do you have of the episodes you've done so far and the podcasts you've done so far, top guest, top travel destination?
Well, my favorite guests so far, we've had some great guests in the travel shows, but Javier Bardem joined me in Madrid, and he is one of the funniest people you can hang out with. He's brilliantly funny. He's an Oscar-winning serious actor. He's a movie star. He's an icon. And he's a hilarious improv partner and does not take himself seriously. And he was just a joy. And I was nervous about taking up too much of Javier's time. So I thought, okay, Javier, let's go to the Prado Museum and let's do like these one or two things. And be like, no, man, we must keep going. We must do more.
Conan, 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 hurry! We must now go to this, and we must get in a boat, and we must row a boat. Oh, Conan, I had another idea. We should go across town and take lessons and dance lessons. And he was insatiable, and I kept trying to remind him, you're an Oscar-winning.
He said, "Let's go."
He was down for everything, and just a beautiful soul, creative, artistic, funny, and I'm so excited for people to see that side of Javier.
And the pod, favorite guest so far?
Well, I mean, I can't say there's one favorite guest,
I feel
because
like 400 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, there's different categories of favorite. There are guests who just make me laugh till I cry. Just some of the funniest comedians in the world, and also people who are. It's impossible for me to single out one comic. One of the more surreal moments was Al Pacino, because I'm a massive fan of the Godfather films. I grew up on those films. I know those films chapter and verse, and I've watched every Al Pacino movie. Al Pacino was at the top of the list for me. And when Al Pacino walked into the podcast room and started giggling at nonsense I was saying, my soul left my body and was like looking at me, looking at Al Pacino, observing this whole thing. So definitely a crazy moment.
I'll let you go soon, but before
Please
I
don't.
do,
I have nowhere to go, and I have nothing else to do.
I love this. I'll stay here all day long.
Yeah.
You're going to run it back at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Why'd you say yes so quickly?
Because I had a really good time, and I thought, let's not play around. They asked me right away, and I said yes. Now I know the lay of the land, and I'd like to go again. And have a little more time and maybe a little less chaos in my life.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work, but it was a really great experience. It was a joyous experience. And so it's like I went to a great party, I had a really good time, and then they said, would you like to come back next year to the same party? Why would I say, let me think about it?
Are you already thinking about what you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't ask.
And I won't tell.
I know. I've watched enough of your interviews to know that. When after The Tonight Show, you went on tour, you did a comedy tour, and it was called The Legally Prohibited from Being Funny on Television Tour.
Right.
Eventually you went back to TV on cable.
Yeah.
But then you did the pod, you've done streaming. You see a world where you ever go back to television?
Well, it's funny, I don't even know what television is anymore. And I by that I mean all the lines are blurred. So an example is, I go to do this podcast 5 years ago. I start doing the podcast, and it's just me and my voice. This is after being on television, network television, with one of the big shows for years and years and years. I start doing it, and then before too long, people said, this is doing really well, this podcast. It's great. You mind if we put some cameras in? Just locked off cameras, just to have video record of it. And I said, I don't see a problem with that. So we do that. And then they start putting that on the internet. And then they said, that's doing really well. It would be really great if you did these in front of an audience, these podcasts in front of an audience. And I said, okay. So we start booking some theaters and we do them in front of live audiences. And then someone said, it'd be really good if you had some music, if you had a band. I said, great, let's get some of the band back. The next thing you know, I'm backstage, there's a big crowd, there's cameras.
Feels familiar.
We're back where we started. And people are on the street are telling me, oh my God, I saw that footage of you talking to Kevin Neal. And I'm like, when? 1995, 1997? No, 2 weeks ago. So what's television, what's not television? I mean, I watch the show Severance. I'm a big fan of that show on Apple. And that's cinema to me. That's a movie. It's an immersive movie experience. It's made beautifully. So what's television? And most movies are on your television screen, streaming within 3 weeks of coming out. So I don't know what a return to TV would look like. I mean, this might just be my return to television.
The
right
Today
now.
Show.
Yeah, the Today Show. And
have you ruled out morning television?
Yeah, no. Hell, no. I get to drink coffee on camera.
Easy.
And have some banter, and then we can talk to a weatherman.
Al Roker.
How is Al doing?
He's doing great. He's doing great.
Tell Al I said hi.
Al, Conan says hi.
Al, you don't. I think he has caller ID because I call him all the time. He doesn't pick up.
I'm sorry.
He's is he that way with you too?
He'll respond to a text occasionally.
I always want to know: is there a low pressure system moving in? I mean, I could check my watch, but I want to hear it from Al.
It's always better to hear it from Al.
I think so. It's more reassuring.
Conan O'Brien, thank you so much.
This was a joy. It was really fun talking to you.
Thank you.
And please, my love to everyone at my old stomping ground. You know, NBC, Today's Show. It's a beautiful place to work.
Come back anytime.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is an Emmy Award-winning comedian, writer, producer, podcaster, and recipient of the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, who spent 16 years as the host of this show. Season 2 of Conan O'Brien Must Go is streaming now on Max. Please welcome back to Late Night, the one, the only, Conan O'Brien, everybody. Hello.
How are you?
I'm thrilled to have you here.
This is an amazing group over here.
I feel like this is
The danger here is that I will never leave. This is
We were warned about that if it was too hot a crowd, you'd stay for a while. Yeah.
It's like I just puff up, and then I just want to be here all night.
How does it feel to walk back in the door? I mean, I know you've been back. You were back for the SNL 50th.
Yep.
You've done the Tonight Show, but how does it feel to walk back into 30 Rock?
It is beautiful. I mean, there was, I spent between my show, the late night show that I took over from Letterman, and then SNL. If you add those up, I was here almost 20 years in this building, and then I didn't come here for a long time, and then I came back briefly, and they showed me my old studio, and it was Dr. Oz.
Yeah. We thought that was a nice tribute.
Yeah. You know, it's like, I'm going to go see the house where I grew up, that little gingerbread, you know what I mean? And it's a Jiffy Lube. And they said, oh, you missed Dr. Oz. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm not sure he's a real doctor. I question his...
This completes a circle for me. My very first talk show appearance was 2002 on your show. So having you here...
Oh, my God, look at you.
Yeah, child. Getting a lot wrong.
Look at...
Getting a lot wrong.
Look at this. That is so great. You look like a contest winner. Really glad to be here.
Also, the size of the collar would make you think I was there in the 60s, but it was like the early 2000s.
Or you're a nun. Either way. Yeah.
I feel like my writers, everybody I feel like who works at a show like this has a lot of love and respect for your show. And they often, I feel like, if I say no to something, I think they want to scream at me, Conan would have liked it.
Did you? Conan's still alive.
Yeah.
If Conan were alive today, I'm just eating soup in the corner. I'm here.
But did everything that came across your desk, did you love it all? Or were there
God, no.
Yeah.
I think I'm well known. I love writers. I was talking to your writers. I think you guys do a beautiful job with this show. And I said, after we were talking, I said, where are the writers? I want to compliment them. They do an incredible job. And
they were like, they all went home?
Yeah. They all turned around on the expressway. No, it was just lovely to see them. But I would famously, at my show anyway, I would get into it with my writers.
Yeah.
In a kind of a comical way. I would play that overbearing guy who I wasn't really, but also it was my way of, in a passive-aggressive tone, letting them know I didn't like it. My writers over the years were amazing, fantastic, and they came up with, everyone knows, or a lot of people come up to me and say, Masturbating Bear, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, all these other fun things, but there were some that no one ever mentions that I loved, which was, we did once Horse Riding a Horse, which was, I think we have a picture of that here somewhere.
We have Horse Riding a Horse. What was the inspiration behind Horse Riding?
We used to just cut to it. You have to have physical cards?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a horse riding a horse.
There's no idea behind it. I always was looking for silliness that resonated in my brain. There was another one we did, which was called The Always Disappointing FedEx Pope, starring Brian McCann.
Great Brian McCann. So that's...
It was just a guy pretending he was the Pope with a FedEx pop. And I loved it. And then he came to the Twain Prize.
Yes, he was there.
Which was lovely. And then I loved Shoeverine.
Right.
Yes, by Andrew Weinberg, which was,
this was
Wolverine, but he has shoes on his hands. So those were the ones I liked, and then the writers came to me with...
So I'm going to say, before you say there's ones you don't like, based on the 3 things you just liked, I don't blame them for thinking he's going to go for anything.
Yes, I know what you're thinking. Was I medicated? Yes, I was. And then they would get really high on something and say, this is fantastic. I think it's a basset hound that's dressed like a minister, and he dribbles a basketball while the song Sweet Georgia Brown plays, the Globetrotter song. And I read it, and I went, huh? And they showed it to me at rehearsal, and I went, no. And I think you have it, and they pushed and pushed and pushed.
What is this character's name?
Otis K. Dribbles.
Okay. So a basset hound that dribbles a basketball.
Yeah, and Sweet Georgia Brown plays, and I was mad. And I would say, I pay you guys? You all get paid for this? And we got into it, and they insisted, and we showed it on the air. And literally, while Otis K. Dribbles was dribbling the basketball to ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-ba-dum, clear that. That's your money, not mine. But while they're doing it, I'm in the corner looking at the audience going, because the camera's not on me, so I'm trying to kill it.
Yeah.
And they brought it back a few times, but no, writers aren't always correct.
Did they argue that it was a hit? Did your writers try
Yes, the writers were like, my neighbor loved it.
you
you can't fight that argument. There's some solid science behind that.
When you were
Don't shout at me.
No, you listen.
Yeah, you see here.
I've had enough of you recollecting.
I could go on and on.
This I had no idea, but when you worked at SNL, you would go, one of the quiet places you found to work was the Letterman late night set.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wrote with my partner and good friend and genius, Greg Daniels, who created every good TV show that's ever been made. Office, King of the Hill. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It angers me. But we would feel like we need to go someplace cool or someplace different to write, not just stay in the office. So we would wander around, and we would always gravitate towards Studio 6A, which was David Letterman's late night show. And I would gravitate towards Dave's desk and his chair, which had a big cover over it to protect it from idiots like me. And I would sit behind it, and Greg and I would think of ideas. I don't think we did much productive work there, but I would go there regularly and sit behind Dave's desk, and I was, this is a couple of years before, out of nowhere, they go to Lorne Michaels to say who should replace David Letterman. This is back when there's 2 or 3 late night hosts, and that's it, and they're just these, it's like, who should we add to Mount Rushmore? And Lorne said, I know this guy, his name's Bix Widley. So I will maintain, I would never say in a million years I was Lorne's best pick. I'm not in that category, but I think I was his bravest pick.
Yes.
Because at the time, Lorne Michaels went out on a huge limb and said to the network, trust me, they saw me, they watched me on air for a year, and they said, Lorne, you were wrong. And Lorne was like, nope, you'll see. And they still don't get it. But Lorne, I love you and thank you.
I want to ask about Conan O'Brien must go. We'll be right back with more Conan O'Brien.
This is chocolate con churros, and this thing is very well known as the great moment of the hangover. You go partying, all night, and then without sleeping, you take chocolate with churros.
I think we should pretend in this moment that we have been drinking all night.
We're here with Conan O'Brien. That was a clip from Conan O'Brien Must Go. This is a fantastic show, but you always, it struck me that you always thrived outside of the studio.
I love getting outside, yeah.
I feel like I have no control once I get outside, and I get very tight, and I have a lot of anxiety. Do you have to work through that at all?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I was with Javier in Madrid. He's an A-list superstar, leading man, and I was so nervous, even after all these years of doing this, 30 some odd years of doing this, I was like, I don't want to waste his time. What if we get out there and it's not good? It's when you have, I feel like you need to take care of these people. And it was really maddening. And that happens a lot. And then, of course, he turned out, I kept saying, you can go now, Javier. I think we got enough. He's like, what are you talking about, man? Onward, we must go to the next, we must do more. He was one of the most delightful improv partners you could have. He's hilarious. He's wonderful.
Well, that's a thing you probably clock pretty fast, whether or not the person you're with is going to need a ton of help or whether or not it's going to be a partnership.
When you came backstage and said hi, I knew you were in trouble.
Yeah.
And
that's why I like to go back.
Yeah,
I want the guests to know, like, you are not in safe hands.
And this is a very bad car.
I like to go back. I mean, I think I came in, we could tell him. I came in, I was like, oh, like I just full nerves.
He was a mess. But we got you into some new pants. I think that's, at the end of the day, all this is finding your way of connecting to the next person. And for everybody, it's different. So I managed to find the things that I like to do. And you have found the things that you really love to do that pop. And I used to think over the years, I was on, we're on in this very late time slot, that there's a giant orchestra, there's a lot of noise, and I'm just banging my triangle. Is anyone even hearing me? And this sounds crazy, it's like some Buddhist idea, but if you just stay true to what you believe in and you keep doing it with purpose, eventually they'll only hear the triangle. And turns out that's not true.
It's nice. It was so nice till the ending.
Like, what the hell? He's gone insane. That's exactly how all of them talk.
Yeah. I did a Q&A.
In the commercial break, they were like, you did a good job. But I do believe that, and I will go to my grave believing that. And I think you're proof, and your staff is proof that you just, there's a lot of noise. There's more late night than there's ever been. There's the internet. You're competing with all this noise that I didn't have to compete with, but you just keep doubling down on sharp, smart, this is our integrity, this is what we want to do, and your style, and not selling yourself, not trying to do what someone else does, and it cuts through the fog. It does, and it's really beautiful.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. Obviously, it does strike me, and I'm very obviously grateful that you chose to do this, but with your podcast, did you miss the idea of talking to people?
Oh my God, well, I started doing the podcast while I was still doing the TBS show, Conan. My idea for the name. And
wait, since you said that, what was you didn't want to call late night. You wanted to change it.
Yeah. When Robert Smigel, I take over the late night, and the whole country is saying, there are articles that say this is insane. Who is Conan O'Brien? This is a bad idea, and that's my family talking. And everyone thought this isn't going to work. And so that was bad. And I don't know. I remembered. We were so afraid of being compared to Letterman because he's a genius. He invented this time slot and this sensibility. And we kept thinking we don't want to be associated. We want people to think we're doing something different. Let's not use the name Late Night. And Robert and I became convinced that we should change the name to Nighty Night. I'm not kidding. We were convinced that it should be Nighty Night with Conan O'Brien, and that would show everyone that it's a different show. And we had a meeting with this guy named Rick Ludwin, who was a saint and a wonderful man. And we went in and we said, Just let's hear us out, Rick. It's not late night anymore. It's nighty night. And he started scratching the back of his head. Really buttoned down guy, but I saw 4 blood vessels burst. Late night is a proven franchise. We have built that franchise. We're going to keep that franchise. That franchise will last. Long outlive you. We're going to keep that. And we're like, all right. We ran away, you know.
Can I also just say, because nobody knows, that's an excellent Rick Ludwin.
Yeah,
I was lucky enough to know the man. But so you start doing the podcast during Conan on TBS.
Yeah.
And
as a joke. I mean, I didn't think I should do I didn't. I just thought, podcast, I'm on television. Why? And I didn't understand. And then I started doing it. And then what's funny is that I loved late night, but when it was time to go, when I felt like I think I'm done here, I thought, yeah, I did it. I don't want to do that anymore. So I start really doubling down on the podcast. Podcast is doing really well. And then people started to say to me, my producer and everything started to say, like, you know, it'd be great if we did some live ones. And I said, oh, yeah. So I started doing live podcasts. I've done them in New York. I've done them in LA. I've done them around the place. So I'm doing live podcasts. And then they said, you know, it'd be great. You're on stage anyway. We should have a band there. And I went, you're right. They had a band. And then I'm doing a band, and I'm in front of an audience, and I'm interviewing a guest. And then they said, we should add a little comedy up front to loosen them up. And I went, you're right. And then they said, we should probably do some ads in there. And I said, wait a minute! I see what's going on here. The next thing you know, I'm up there doing the string dance, and, you know.
Nobody would complain.
There's no getting out.
Nobody would complain. What a delight to have you here.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
You're a great man, and I love what you've done here, and I wish you all the best, and I will see you around. I'm here whenever you need me.
All right.
I think it's going to be a long time before I'm asked back. Love the crowd that talks in a southern accent. Oh, you know you do. Now you're trying to do it. Yeah.
You guys, look who it is. It's Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien must be
Really great.
now.
That was fun.
Thank you.
Great show coming up. Becky Lucas is sticking around. I chat with Claudia Carvin, a Spice Girl. Tom Cashman is up next. But first, tonight is the last show of the year. So to see out season 2, we got a few messages from some friends of the show.
Hey, Sam. Conan O'Brien here. As you can probably tell, I'm shooting a travel show in India. I learned an old trick long ago. You could probably use this too. Once they tire of you in your country, you move the talk show to other countries. It seems fresh all over again. Anyway, I wanted to congratulate you on your 2nd season, big pickup. This is great news. I hear you're a very talented fellow. I'm happy for you. So congrats from Conan to you, Sam. Keep up the great work. And remember, when the Australians start to hate you, you travel. Look for me. Take care now.
Conan O'Brien there.
You seem chill.
Yes, because I can't admit the truth to myself. I'm a stranger to myself. I'm chill because we've been working really hard. We have a lot of fun ideas. It doesn't mean a million things won't go wrong or sideways between now and the actual show, but that can be a challenge too. So this is always a running battle up until the moment the Oscars begins, and then things can still change.
So it is true. You are going to local comedy clubs and working out the material for the monologue.
You work out the material. And the crowds really like it because I'm a surprise, so they don't know that I'm going to show up. And some of these are very far-flung comedy clubs that are also a bowling alley, that are also a car rental place.
Yeah. So you have a good chance of getting a laugh.
You have a decent chance of getting or punched, but either way, it's entertainment.
So, first Oscars under your belt. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your first Oscars?
Now, for no good reason, Sandworm from Doom 2 playing chopsticks on the piano.
How about just for
I'd say a 15.
There we go.
I am very modest. Well, you know, one of the first things I said when I came out last year was I noticed Timmy Chalamet was wearing like a bright, very bright, like neon-colored outfit. Love that suit. You will not get hit on your bike tonight. And everyone laughed. I remember that moment thinking, okay, that's all this is. All this is finding those little moments and stringing them together.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thought.
And praying Timmy Chalamet wears something really brightly colored.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this year. Are you allowed to share any of your favorite films?
Well, I mean, here's the thing about this year that's really spectacular. if I was not hosting the Oscars, if I was just disconnected in every way, but I'm Conan, so I like films, I'd be excited for this year because I think the movies are spectacular, really, and they're all quite different. I mean, Sinners is amazing, and One Battle After Another, and Marty Supreme. Those are incredible films, and Begonia, and I mean, I could go on and on.
I'm trying to envision a musical number incorporating Sinners, Begonia, One Battle After Another.
When you come up with it, could you give it to me? Because I'm still working on that. Can't get them all to link up.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Not a lot of things rhyme with Begonia.
No,
That's
as
the
it
big
turns
problem.
out.
Yeah. And Hamnet. It's just, they don't rhyme.
Would you do a 20-second or less sell to the TikTok generation about why they need to tune in to the Oscars this year?
Hey, TikTok kids. You got to tune into the Oscars this year. It's me, Conan O'Brien. I know you think I'm some old idiot who doesn't get it, but I'm hip. That's a word they're using now. I think. And you should check it out. All of your favorite stars will be there. And guess what? Vampire.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
There you go. I had a little senior moment there. That's not going to convince
That's
the
not helping
TikTok
matters.
gang.
Will we see you perform dancing or singing?
I think America demands to see Conan's body in motion. I just have to tune in. I can't tell you anything.
And guys, by the way, Conan was out here a few days ago with the ceremonial rolling out of the red carpet, which is all in place. They're getting the finishing touches on it. Also, by the way, how great is that he's been going to comedy clubs and bowling alleys practicing his bits? Could you imagine being there and then Conan walks out? Just a big surprise.
I love that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Like a legit comedian going out there testing the material.
Practicing it, seeing what works and what doesn't.
We gaan hem niet langer laten wachten. Maar na al die jaren talkshow is hij natuurlijk een krankzinnig goed Amerikaans applaus gewend. Dat kunnen wij toch ook hier, hè?
Zeker.
Toch? Toch klaar voor? Hier is talkshow-legende Conan O'Brien. Goed, jongens.
So good to have you here, Conan.
It's lovely to be here. Thanks so much for having me. I'm not used to having audience sit behind me.
Scary, right?
This is very frightening.
Yeah, I'll watch them, you watch them.
Yes, okay, very good.
You arrived yesterday,
Yes.
the wildest day of the year here in Holland, and you're still alive.
Yes, I showed up, my wife and I got here at 6 in the morning and changed. I went out and King's Day.
Right.
And madness.
Day drinking.
Absolute madness. Day drinking, which I'm used to. That is my sport. But everyone was fantastic. People here are very polite. And yes, to me anyway, the young people kept saying, can I make a picture with you, Conan?
Oh, wow.
And then they would say, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful King's Day. That's what all the young people said to me.
Was
that's
this
not how
after you
people
had been drinking?
After I think when they get drunk, they're very polite. Yeah, that's the sense I get.
I heard that before you came, you were actually afraid that people wouldn't recognize you.
I wouldn't say afraid. That would imply that I have a huge ego, which I do not. But I was pleasantly surprised that so many, especially younger people, seemed to know. So that was nice.
You already met him. This is Peter, of course. You know,
Peter and I met backstage.
He's our best comedian, the biggest. He won't say anything during this conversation. He's going to sit here and watch you talk.
Okay.
I hate my English, so...
Don't be freaked out.
I won't be freaked out. I like this.
I keep getting closer.
This is the limit right here, and then no more.
No more. You're here in Holland filming for your travel program.
Yes.
The third season already. Before we get to that, last weekend in the States was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
An attack on the president.
Which it is every week now. I mean, that's the news cycle in the United States now.
But even in the crazy news cycle, this was like extreme.
Yeah.
An attack on the president at the correspondents' dinner.
Yeah.
Now the president and Melania want Jimmy Kimmel, your colleague, fired.
Yeah.
What do you make of all this, Conan?
Well, one thing I will say is that the president is saying that Jimmy Kimmel said something, hateful. And what I would say is I think there's a lot of angry rhetoric on all sides. I think that's one of the problems in the United States. And one of the things it's one of the reasons that I've spent so much time and effort pursuing comedy that's about people, about situations, human things. Those are the things that make me happy. There's just a lot of anger on both sides, on the left, on the right, and you know, political violence, sadly, is a big part of our country's history, and it's a problem. It's very, very toxic.
Are you scared
right now? Am I scared? I'm scared of him.
Rightly so.
Yeah. You know, I don't fear so much for myself, I guess, but I think I have kids, I have a family. I think we're all worried. We want things to calm down in our country as much as possible. So that's what I hope for, and I hope we can find some common ground. Yeah. That would be lovely. And I say that to all sides.
You're here for your show, Conan O'Brien Must Go. It's a show where fans from all over the world invite you to come visit them, and you just do it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, what happens is people contact me through my podcast from
crazy
everywhere,
questions.
and then they ask me questions, and then I surprise them in their country, and I get involved in their lives.
And change their lives.
Yes.
Have a look.
Once a proud talk show host, he has been driven by a changing ecosystem to a drier and harsher climate. The weekly podcast. Unhinged by the feral scent of their mild enthusiasm, he scavenges in distant lands, fueled by a bottomless hunger for recognition.
1, 2, 3, 4. When in New Zealand, you have to haka. What's your first impression when I come up to you?
I don't want to lie.
Try this.
Not bad.
You can lie a little.
I
How about a
already
little?
did.
You already did. You say tango or dongo? Tango, right?
It's tango.
It's not tango. These people live here. Yeah.
It's not a traditional travel program about the country and the facts of the food. What is it really about, Conan?
I think my goal in many travel shows, we've all watched travel shows, and there are a lot of them, and they try to teach you about the country. I want you, at the end of my program, to know nothing about the country. I want you to maybe even be dumber than you were at the start of the show. My goal is I like to go to countries and have the joke be on me. So today, one of my fans is a high fashion model here in Amsterdam, and she said she could teach me how to be a male model. And so I showed up. I met with her, and she told me at the end of the program, this isn't going to work. She was very disappointed in me and my appearance and the way I behaved. But I want people to watch and laugh at me. I want to be an American who's out in the world showing people that we have a sense of humor about ourselves. And I like to be in situations where I'm not the boss, where I'm down here, and for example, while I'm here in Amsterdam, people are here, and I'm the one that has to learn their traditions, and I fail, and they laugh at me.
It seems like there's no limit to the degree that you're willing to embarrass yourself to be funny.
That's the
And that's what
that's the
I-
rudest
I-
thing.
no, I admire
any host
this.
has ever said to me.
This is an intervention.
Thank you for being here, by the way.
I'm saying this with love because I think that's one of the most charming and funniest things a
thank
human
you.
being can have.
Yeah.
A sense of laughing at yourself and be willing to go the mile, to be unattractive, to be funny.
Yeah,
It's like the highest
excuse
thing.
me, I didn't say unattractive.
Okay.
You said unattractive.
I'll retract that.
I feel very unwelcome in this country. No, I say with all honesty that I do like that. I find myself a ridiculous person, and I like to. There are many different types of comedian, and I think if you boiled it down, I would probably very simply be a clown because I like to make kids laugh. And so I don't think I'm a satirist. I don't think I'm certainly not a political pundit. I'm someone who just likes to make people laugh on a very human level. And maybe make a dog laugh. That would make me very happy.
That's like the highest.
Yeah.
This is you having some fun in Norway.
I was told that in Norway, people like their personal space.
Yeah, that's
like, right? So this is the right amount of space.
Yeah, this is right. Like
Okay, now what about, you tell me when I'm too close.
You're too close. That's too close.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, try it, just try it.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm a little bit scared though.
See? Nothing bad happens when you're this close.
No, actually it's okay then.
Yeah, isn't it fine? You kind of like it, don't you?
Maybe it's okay then.
Yeah. Is this okay? You like it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Listen, I want you to remain perfectly still. I'm going to lick your cheek, okay? You can do it.
Okay, let's see. Yeah!
See? Norway can change. This personal space thing is just ridiculous. You're good, right? Yeah.
This man died 2 weeks later.
He died,
That's-
yeah, it was the licking that killed him, yeah.
I love also how you talk so loud to people when they're really close by.
I do, I know. There are these, stereotypes about the Americans. We're loud, and we're overbearing, and we're full of ourselves. And so sometimes I like to puff myself up, and especially when I'm around people that are very reserved, as you saw when I'm in Japan or when I'm in Norway, and people have their personal space, and she's trying to teach me how to behave by hitting me with a stick, so I start to really like it. She gets upset. I like to do improv. I'm sure you do lots of improv. I like to try and figure out what the energy is in the situation. And you travel around the world, and you don't even need yes, there's a language barrier, but sometimes you can even get past that, you know? And you just figure out, this guy doesn't like me to get close, so I'm gonna get very close.
Even closer.
And then I'm gonna lick him.
What did you learn about the Netherlands?
What's that?
What did you learn about the Netherlands?
So far?
Yeah.
So many tall people. I've met so many women that make me feel short. Very tall. And everyone's on a bicycle, which I love. I just love that everyone's
in their normal clothes, right?
They're in their normal clothes. In the United States, when you get on a bicycle, people dress up in these crazy outfits, and they put on giant helmets, and they put on their goggles, and they look like a piece of candy, and they're riding around. And what I love is here you just see people riding their bikes. The first time I came to the Netherlands, I was walking down the street, and I heard, la, 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 la. Two beautiful women, one on the handlebars and the other riding, went down the street past me. La, 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 la. And I thought, I'm in a movie. That doesn't happen in the United States. You know what I mean? And you'd never hear anyone singing la, 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 la. Just crazy.
It's crazy. Just as crazy as this. What is this, Conan?
I bought this yesterday at King's Day. I paid €10 for this.
Oh my God, you got ripped off, man.
I got ripped off. This was the best thing I saw at King's Day. I was not impressed with the things they're selling. People were selling underwear they've been wearing for 10 years at King's Day. But I saw this and I had to have it, and it's my gift to you.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's my gift to you. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much, Conan.
Yeah, that's for you.
Thank you so much. How long will you be staying with us?
I'm here for the entire week. I'm here for the entire week, and I love it.
Will we catch you out in the wild?
You will catch me in the wild. I'm very easy to spot. Very easy to spot, and very happy to meet people. I love it here.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Really nice. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Really
Dank voor het kijken. Heel graag tot morgen.
Look who just walked in, Conan O'Brien. Now the voice of Smarty Pants, Toy Story 5. So you got to set the scene for us.
Yes.
Pixar wants a potty trainer, and they come to you.
Yeah. And I've never felt more seen in my life. They came to my office and they said, we want to pitch you on being in Toy Story 5. And I said, let's hear it. And they said, you're a device that trains 2-year-olds how to use the potty. And I said, where do I sign? I want in. But it's a very funny character.
Very funny.
And I finally got to see the movie, because you shoot your part, you don't know what's going to happen, and then they bring you to the premiere and you see it for the first time.
And you're completely alone when you're doing it, right?
Yeah, you're alone. And I talked to Tom Hanks, I think the day I signed, I saw him a few hours later. And he said, Conan's going to be the hardest thing you ever do. And I thought, that can't be true, because it's just your voice. But you have to work so hard to get all of your personality into this microphone. And then, of course, they have you do it. They'll say, do this line, and remember you're falling at 35 miles an hour, but you hit a rock towards the end, so give me a little, and go. And you go, And then they say, they're behind a glass, and they all look at each other, and they go, do it again. But you're falling at 40 miles an hour. And you hit 2 stones. And you do that for about 7 hours.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
You're drenched, and then they call you back. You do that multiple times. You go back. But they're geniuses. They did a brilliant job.
Yeah, they did.
Right. Well, let's see you in action. Here's
Let's
a clip.
do that.
All right, let's do it.
Snappy! Atlas, they're still here! Oh, Bossy Cowgirl, we have to turn it back on!
No way! The last thing this world needs is more devices.
What? You're just gonna shove them back in the dark forever? Do you have any idea what that's like?
Fine. We gotta make this quick.
Yes!
Number one, you made number.
I know those are gasps of respect. Getting to be involved in any way with Joan Cusack, who I think is one of the all-time greats, was magical. So that alone was worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very strange sensation. We had this premiere, and then Taylor Swift shows up on the carpet. The next thing you know, I'm having my picture taken with Taylor Swift. So my daughter decided to start talking to me again. It ended a 3-year rift. But yeah, she's got this song and it's spectacular.
It's already number one.
It's number one, yeah.
But how would you describe the character, Smarty Pants?
Oh, let's really get into the character of Smarty Pants, shall we? First the froyo, then let's talk about the toilet training device, and then we'll talk about this peace deal. You know what I like about him? He takes his job very seriously. He's really serious about it. He's thin-skinned because not everyone respects what he does, and so he's quick to be offended. He's also been turned off for a long time. He's just come back to life, and he's usually for a while he's at half power, and they said just do it as if you've been drinking. So I went method, and I just had a ton of tequila. Are you going to be okay? Are you all right? Okay.
Thank you for summarizing morning TV in 6 words.
Yeah, someone had to do it. Someone had to do it.
Well, you're a promotional machine. I cannot figure out how you managed to promote the film while giving the commencement address at Harvard. How did you?
They said, would you like to do this commencement address? I said, at Harvard, my alma mater. So I said yes. I really sweated the speech because you want it. You know, you're in pretty good company. You know, and I'm sure there's some criminals in there as well. But it's like 50-50. Icons, civil rights leaders, great world leaders, and then white collar criminals. But I wanted that to be good, and then I decided I need to tell these young graduates up front who's their speaker. So I told them I'm in Toy Story 5 playing a potty training device because I wanted them to have the appropriate amount of respect for me. So all in all, it was a great experience for me. It was like a bucket list thing to get to do.
Well, I tell you what, we're excited because you're going to host the Oscar for the 3rd year in a row,
Wow.
which is great, and we know you enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me that you're very handsome. I just had somebody get in my ear to tell you that you're
I think those were your thoughts. I think when you touch your ear and say, no, that's you.
So that's the fake. That's the fake. You're very handsome.
I find you very handsome as well.
Yeah. But we're always excited to see you, man. Congratulations, Toy Story 5. It's in theaters on Friday. Our guy, Conan O'Brien.